From the beginning, Yasser Arafat, chairman of the Palestine Liberation Organization, has sided with Iraq in the Gulf War. Saddam Hussein cemented PLO support by linking his withdrawal from Kuwait with the settlement of the Palestinian issue. By aligning with Iraq, Arafat has taken a dangerous gamble, tying the fate of his movement to the outcome of the war. The Journal's Paul McGrath met with Yasser Arafat in Amman to talk about the war, the Palestinian question, and Arafat's support for Iraq.
You have met with Saddam Hussein over the last few days, and you have seen his position. Are you still convinced that his strength is enough to be the best hope for the Palestinian people?
Not only for the Palestinians, at least for Iraq, for Arabs, and for the Palestinians. It is clear and obvious it will not be an easy war.
Are you pessimistic that it will be a long war?
I'm sorry to say that it will last for a long time. You remember, they are speaking them about 6 days or 5 days. The same they have mentioned before the war starts. You remember, they repeated the slogan, 6 hours, 3 days, 4 days. Now we are in the second month. More casualties everywhere. And when the land battle will start, it will be more and more casualties.
Your alliance with Saddam Hussein has cost you some old friends, some in the Arab world and both in the Western world. I think some people who were perhaps coming around to the Palestinian point of view. Has this hurt you? Do you not feel that you are less secure than you were?
You have to understand, it is Saddam Hussein who is my ally, because Saddam Hussein had accepted the request being offered to him from our people under occupation to make this linkage between the Gulf crisis and the Palestinian cause. And he had fulfilled his promises by making this linkage. You remember our peaceful initiative, our peace initiative, which I had declared and had been approved by our PNC, had been rejected. And the dialogue had been suspended between me and the American administration. So, we are looking now that Saddam Hussein had accepted our requests by making this linkage. The link between what? Between the oil and Palestine. The Armada is there is not for the sake of Iraq, of Kuwait, or anything else. It is only for oil, to control oil. Okay, if you are looking for oil, we are looking for our holy, sacred Muslim and Christian places in the Terra Santa in Palestine.
Now, it has been suggested, though, that this alliance has perhaps hurt your people on the West Bank more than it has helped them. Some of the money that was coming from the workers in Kuwait is no longer coming.
Yes.
The financial support from the Saudis.
We have to look also for the damage everywhere. Every country had been affected by the Gulf crisis. And for this, from the beginning, we were trying to avoid the war and to find a peaceful solution. And if this war will continue, this means there will be a real catastrophe.
And after the catastrophe, if you have allied yourself with Saddam Hussein and he falls, do you fall with him?
You see, you are saying so. If.
I'm asking.
If. But if the other face of the coin, what will happen? So you can't put if. And not to ask me if.
Then, regardless of who wins the war, what do you see the future of the PLO?
You see, for your information, the Palestinian cause is the crux of the whole issue in the Middle East. No solution, no stability, no peace, no settlement.
Even after the USA withdraws?
Yes, after everything. Nothing can happen here by overjumping the Palestinian rights, which had been accepted by the United Nations, our right to return back to our homeland and for self-determination and to establish our independent Palestinian states and Jerusalem, our capital.
But clearly not all Arab nations agree with you on this matter. They are willing well, they are willing to support the United States and Israel in this matter.
But they are saying that after the war, they will push the alliance to continue their efforts to achieve peace.
But does that not mean...
Nobody here, no government, no regime can bypass the Palestinian cause. This is a sacred cause. This is the Terra Santa. Maybe your computers in the West cannot understand what is the meaning of the Terra Santa. You have to understand what is the meaning of the Terra Santa. This is our holy, sacred places, Christians and Muslims.
Again, I have another if you don't mind. If the war, if the coalition wins the war, it's been suggested that the PLO will not have as much power to decide their own fate, that fate will be decided by Egypt.
They have mentioned the same after Camp David agreement with Sadat. You remember? And still, we are the Phoenix Bird.
Now, is there unanimity in the PLO on this matter? There were the assassinations over the past couple of months that the world has perhaps understood that there is not unanimity in the PLO.
Please, not, you have to be fair. You know that this assassination had been done by the Mossad and the help of the CIA. We are a democratic movement. If you are speaking about PLO, we are a democratic movement, and we are proud of our democracy. You see, what we are now doing with all other Arab countries, especially the Arab countries for peaceful solution, is to stop this mad aggression against the Iraqi people. You can't understand in the West what is the meaning of Iraq for us. Baghdad. You see, you know that in Mosul, the oldest Chaldean church in the whole world had been destroyed. You know what is the meaning of that? The holy places in Kufa, in Najaf, in Karbala, of the Shiites had been destroyed. You know what is the meaning of that?
They are thousands of years old.
Yes, this is the history, heritage, tradition. You see, I am sorry to say that what is going will leave a deep scars. جروح يعني scars between the Arab nation, the Muslim nations, the third world countries from one side, and America and their allies from the other side.
What hope do you see out of all of this?
You can ask Mr. Bush, not me. He had decided this war, and you have to ask him.
Thank you, sir.
Paul McGrath spoke with Yasser Arafat in Amman, Jordan yesterday. The Journal returns in a moment with a report from the Canadian Forces base in Qatar.